Warning. The following podcast contains adult themes, including, but not limited to, adult language, adult dragon animorphs, problematic encounters with potential love interests, steampunk vampires, potentially unhealthy relationships, goblin kings, and hosts that read way too far into silly romance novels. The opinions expressed in this podcast are entirely those of the hosts. Listener discretion is advised.
From the inside out so I can see myself from the inside. Oh, love, tearing me apart from the inside.
Hello and welcome to Textual Tension, a love-hate relationship podcast with romance novels. I am your co-host Margie.
And I am your co-host Rachel. Welcome back, guys.
Yeah, welcome back. We're glad you're back.
We are glad you're back.
After that last one.
Woo,
boy.
Assuming you are back, and if you're not, well, bye.
Or if this is your first time here.
Yeah.
So what this podcast is that there's going to be one person. This week it's Rachel.
Hi.
Who is going to tell me the story of a romance novel that she has read, only I know nothing about this romance novel, so I will be reacting just with you guys.
Off the dome.
There's gonna be a lot of wait, what?
A lot of stuff like that. But the good news is this one is maybe a little bit less problematic than last week, which if you are new, check out last week's episode. It was a wild Atlantis-filled ride.
It was hashtag a doozy.
It was rough. So, how's it going, Margie?
I'm doing good. I had a really good job interview.
Nice.
So I'm very,
nice.
very excited about that.
Awesome.
And going on vacation here soon. So
That sounds like it's going to be really fun.
It's going to be really fun. I
Neat.
can't wait. What about you?
Doing pretty good. I get to go peddle my wares in the form of my job at a career fair tomorrow, so that'll be kind
Yay.
of fun. I'm getting sent out in the field to recruit people, I guess. But that's about it. We had a couple projects at work spin up, so I've been like working away.
Yay.
Working on this.
Yay.
Lots of editing, stuff like that, which
Thank you so much.
I love it. It's so much fun to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, she does the editing. I am useless. I do the marketing.
Please, I want all of your feedback. I don't. I'm sorry.
We want some of your feedback.
I want some of your feedback. That's maybe a better way to do it.
Yes. And you can find us online at Textual Tension Pod across the board. Everything.
It's true. Everything. Twitter, the Instagram,
even
the Facebook.
Not Facebook.
Not Facebook?
We are not on Facebook
Oh, we
yet.
should be on Facebook.
Yeah, and we also have a website, textualtensionpod.com.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can find us at textualtensionpod@gmail.com. But anyway, let's
Moving
get back
on.
to the episode.
At least it was mildly relevant,
Yes.
like offshoot. It's fine.
Yes, it's fine.
Tangent. Okay, so today's book that we're going to discuss. It's been really difficult not to tell you about it. It's
Okay,
real fun.
I'm really excited.
So it is called Of Silk and Steam. Yep.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and give you this.
Oh boy.
I have an actual physical book.
I know, I'm so excited.
So I'm gonna give you this cover.
I've been wanting a
for you to
physical
look
book.
at.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh, wow. So, like, my initial reaction is that this is a Phantom of the Opera knockoff. Like, dude's a mask. It's two people standing together, guys. The chick is holding a sword. The dude is standing behind her with his arm.
In a provocative way.
Yeah, in a provocative way. And the dude is standing behind her with his hand on his arm. Like, and look at that hand. Does that not look like photoshopped weirdly into you?
It looks like he should have two left hands.
Like, the color
bad
of his hand
Photoshop.
is just very weird. It's like somebody at the last minute was like, he needs a hand. Somebody give him a hand. And he's got, like, they both have these, I'm imagining, like, Venetian masks.
Yeah, very masquerade.
Yeah, very masquerade. Very, like, if Christine at the end of Phantom of the Opera actually did decide to go down with the Phantom, that's
a good
his
way to describe
that's
it.
his fantasy.
Yes.
Yeah. So can I read the back?
You can, yeah. So this is Of Silk and Steam by Beck McMaster.
Oh, right.
Who is a woman,
Okay.
I should mention.
Okay.
Go ahead and read the back, and then I will tell you what Goodreads has to say about this book.
And on the front of it, it says, captivates readers with evocative and sensual imagery. Ooh, boy.
It's got that in spades.
Enemies, allies, lovers. When her beloved father was assassinated, Lady Aramina swore revenge. The man responsible is well beyond her grasp, but his dangerously seductive heir, Leo Barons, is fair game. When Mina obtains evidence proving that Leo is illegitimate, she has the means to destroy both the killer and his son, a man who troubles her heart and tempts her body. A woman of mystery, Mina's long-driven Leo crazy with glimpses of a fiery passion that lurks beneath her icy veneer. He knows she's hiding something, and he's determined to unravel her layer by silken layer. Ayo! She's like a chocolate. He just doesn't expect the beautiful liar to be the key to overthrowing the corrupt prince consort, or to saving his own carefully walled off heart. Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely sounds better than what I read last week. I will say that.
It is a lot better than what you read last week.
I like him. I like the description of her as a beautiful liar. I don't know why. I'm just
all right. Evocative imagery.
Yeah,
right?
evocative imagery. Yeah, what does Goodreads have to say about it, though?
Okay, so this actually has some pretty solid reviews on Goodreads. So we're looking at about a 4.12. Mm-hmm. And I will say, and I think this is massive props to the book itself. Until about 5 minutes ago, when I pulled this up on Goodreads, had no idea this is the final one in a series.
Really?
I had no clue.
Oh,
It is entirely so. I'm sure there's a lot of like plot points that, from what the reviews I read, get wrapped up in this one, but it is really well done as a standalone. Like I've read some novels that like it's the first in a series, but if you didn't read the series before that, you have no idea what's going on, and it's really confusing. So I actually had no clue. So I would call that, tick in the good category for that. Like, yeah, that was I was impressed with that. Most of the reviews that we get on here are like 4 stars, 4.5 stars, and they are novels. People like really go into detail about what they think about this book. So I'm not going to read like it's more for me to read. It would take a long time. There's a couple 3s in there, and usually it is about how the romance is problematic in parts.
Okay, all right.
Disclaimer, here's your trigger warning for this episode. There's a little bit of borderline sexual assault-y kind of stuff. Okay. And also there's some abuse. Not with the main characters, but there is abusive relationships represented. And there's like this gory kind of, there's some blood drinking bits. Oh.
So
there is some
grossy.
A little
some
bit gross.
grossness.
It's a product of the actual like plot and setting, but it is something to kind of be on the out. But other than that, like, not bad, honestly.
Okay.
Pretty solid. Way better than The Nymph King.
That's too low a bar, Rachel.
Well,
that is too low a
right
bar.
Right now, it's what we got.
Okay. Fair.
All right, so let's get into it. So, again, bear in mind, I had no idea this was the finale in a series when I read it. So,
all right,
let's see how this goes.
Okay.
All right, so real quickly, I want to give you sort of a brief. I always like to look for the description of the main characters to see what they look like and how they're described.
Okay.
So Aramina, who goes by Mina, which, by the way, there's vampires in this novel. Call back to Dracula. That was kind of clever.
That's true.
She has bright red hair. Described as garnet when you first see it, so really red.
Whoa.
Brandy brown eyes, and likes to wear tight leather. But Victorian
wow.
tight leather, yeah. Leo is broad-chested, which is the first thing you learn about him.
Ooh.
Has dark blonde hair.
All right.
And black eyes.
Wait, black?
I should mention, you do not learn that he has dark blonde hair until page 30. And you don't learn that he has black eyes until almost page 50. I had to search for that man's description.
That's just like, but black eyes. Like, if someone had black eyes, I would either be like, nah, that's a demon. Or I'd be like, that's like a genetic problem. You should get that checked out.
Come into play.
Okay.
So, all right.
Whoa, which one?
The demon bit.
Oh!
They are vampires.
Okay.
So, we're going to start with the prologue.
All right.
So there is a 2.5-page prologue in this book that tells you pretty much everything you need to know about this book. Again, really impressive that it is like... So within the prologue, Leo sees a woman killing someone in a duel.
Ooh,
straight up just murdering him. We find out that there's this thing called blue bloods, which are essentially vampires
Okay.
With superhuman powers. So
Okay.
extra speed, all that stuff. Leo's a bastard, literal bastard, like
Okay.
an actual bastard child.
Okay.
Leo totally wants to do her. And this is in order.
Okay.
Things we learned. Her name is Aramina Duval, Mina.
And he knows that.
Yes, he knows that. He finds that out. She is a duchess because she just killed someone. So she's taken the, what's a...
Title?
Yeah, the title.
She takes the title of the person that she killed?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like family fighting over her father's position. She becomes the duchess because the dude duels her. He was a blue blood, so Leo is like, oh my god, I'm so impressed. She got really lucky and killed that blue blood.
Wait, got lucky?
Then we find out she's a blue blood, which is not something that women are allowed to usually do in this world, because this is like Victorian era London steampunk kind of deal.
Okay.
So there's usually the fact that she is a woman and a blue blood and a duchess is like breaking the glass ceiling of this world.
Okay, gotcha.
It's kind of neat. Also, she fucking hates him.
Okay, so that explained why?
Hates him, yes, because her father was killed by his father, but there's no proof. It is just something that she is like wholeheartedly believes. She hates this dude because he is the spawn of her father's killer.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and this is a very complicated plot.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do my best to really pare it down.
No, you're doing good.
There is a lot going on here.
Okay.
Which again makes sense since it is the final book in a series that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little bit of background first on blue bloods.
Mm-hmm.
So blue bloods are essentially vampires.
Uh-huh.
They drink blood.
Okay.
Specifically, almost exclusively mixed into alcohol. So anytime they're drinking wine or whiskey or anything, it has blood in it.
Oh, okay. That's a new type of Bloody Mary, but like I'll get behind it. Like I do love me a bloody, so
that was a bust, but it was a really good bust. So I'll take it.
Bloody Mina. Oh man.
God. They have this thing that is called the craving virus.
Oh.
The craving virus.
Oh, I don't like this already.
Is basically a measure of how much of just a mindless vampire they are. So they have to keep it in check. So if you become a blue blood, like are infected with a blue blood virus or whatever, eventually you're gonna just become a raving lunatic blood-hungry animal.
Okay.
Eventually. But you do live like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years before that happens. So this like craving virus, which they call their CV levels, which sounds so scientific.
Weird. What?
So that's like a measure of how like
crazy they're getting.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And
so
if you get too much, you like your hair turns white, your eyes go straight white, and you start just murdering indiscriminately.
And so that's when I'm guessing blue bloods have to go in and like
they're killed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So it's kind of like almost like Warm Bodies.
I never saw that.
Okay, well it's like because it's like they turn in, so the zombies like turn into bonies. And the bonies are, like, mindless, like, literal skeletons who just go and murder indiscriminately.
Yeah. So kind of like that. And then everyone else is kind of keeping an eye on everybody that they know is a blue blood to see, like, okay, something's wrong. It's time to take them out. That kind of deal.
So sad.
I know, right?
It's kind of like all of your friends are a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. Hundreds of years long, but still. All right, so let's get into the actual story. Scene. So we open...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
On a party I think it's in Hyde Park in London.
Oh,
this is all
okay.
in London, right? And it is a party of blue bloods and their thralls, which are usually women that they feed from. That are totally into it, I guess.
The women are?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not really gone into much.
Okay.
But there's like this whole subplot with them like bleeding the commoners and everything. It's because the general thing is like the bourgeoisie essentially, like all the upper crust are all blue bloods.
Literally bougie blue bloods.
Yeah, essentially.
God. Fucking bourgeoisie.
Right.
Drinking everybody's blood.
Don't you hate it when you're walking down the street and just accidentally start the French Revolution? But so Mina, who we're following right now, is in disguise, and she's going to deliver a letter to the Queen's lover, which comes into play.
Ooh,
it's
spicy.
A very Victorian English upper crust kind of deal. And after she delivers the letter, the contact, like the Queen's lover, is murdered, and she sees it.
Ooh, okay.
By the prince's guard. The prince is the Queen's husband. He's called the Prince Consort.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Leo just happens to be there and shows up. Go
Okay.
figure, naturally.
Okay.
And then she realizes, oh shit, I'm gonna be killed by this guard because I was a witness. And Leo's like, okay, I'll help you. But
Oh no.
let's make a deal.
Oh no.
I want to see your boobs.
What? Are you serious?
And I want to get 10 minutes with said boobs.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
We are
Bitch,
starting.
I'll save your life for your tits.
We are starting off strong.
So strong. So strong.
So
Oh my
strong.
god.
Yeah.
So I love how he's like in love with her from the get-go when he sees her
absolutely.
murder someone else,
That,
but
and
all he
that is like 10 years prior to this.
still, and the next time he sees her and has a conversation with her, he's like, I want to see your titties.
Not the next time.
Okay.
So he first saw her in that original
Right,
duel
prologue.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they've had lots of. We'll get into it. They're in government together. Like they're
okay.
both
So
very
they've
involved.
seen each other since then,
Yes.
but still, he
I
decides.
want your boobs.
Oh my god, what a fucking man whore. Good god. All right,
Yeah.
moving along.
So they're able to escape. They steal a blimp. Sorry,
You steal a what?
a pleasure dirigible.
A what?
A blimp. They steal the Goodyear blimp.
Wait. Does it go down? Like, is it like the Hindenburg? Does it go down with the heat of their love or something? It
does not.
Damn it.
But I will say one thing that I've specifically noticed in this book and others is describing mundane things sexually, which I find hilarious. There's a lot of that sensual, again, evocative imagery. And also, women having hearts of ice that need to be melted.
Oh my
that
god.
comes in a lot.
Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know.
Straight up Elsa. But, so, they escape. And Leo takes her to sort of a safe house that he has until they can get her back to her mansion. Because apparently, no one's gonna know that they stole a blimp, even though the person who drove the blimp away for them saw them do it.
Well,
I
like
don't know.
it's like in Harry Potter with the flying car.
Right. It's
Everybody notices that.
everyone
Nobody notices the
knows.
blimp though.
Yeah, no one notices the blimp. Whatever. So he takes her to a safe house, and like at one point during the escape, she would like had to jump into like the canal and everything, so she is freezing at this point, like super cold, wet, and everything. He's like, okay, he like draws her a bath, and is like, okay, you need to warm up. Like this, you're gonna, you're in danger. You're really cold. Hypothermia is a thing. Like you need to, take care of yourself. And she's like, no, I just want to go home. He's like, okay, you're getting in the bath or I am. One of the two.
What happens if he gets in the bath? Then I would just be like, all right, I'm going home.
Right.
I'll take some of your clothes on my way out.
Right. So she gets in the bath, and rather than cashing in on his 10 minutes, he's like, okay, this is maybe not a good time for this. You're really cold and like hurt, and also I know you're not into it. So instead, I'm going to make sure like get you warm clothes and take you home.
Aww,
So a little bit of upstanding human vampire bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is
right.
like the first like 5 chapters. So that is like
Okay.
our opening scene, right?
Okay.
So a lot happens. Like this is a very dense book.
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah.
So real quick before we get into the next bit, a little bit on the government itself. So Leo and Mina are part of this like council of governing duchesses and barons and stuff like that. So there's like 6 of them. And then there's also the prince consort, who's kind of in charge of everything, and the queen, who's really like, she's like a figurehead ruler kind of deal.
Okay.
The queen is human.
Okay.
To kind of help the commoners be on board with all of the blue blood bourgeoisie.
So commoners do... Okay, so commoners are cool.
They
with the
have
fact-
a say, but it is really made very abundantly clear that the prince is incredibly abusive to the queen.
Okay, and so they are married.
They are married.
Okay.
Yes. So he is incredibly abusive to her, and she has no real power, even though technically she's the one that can, like, is like a tiebreaker vote in the council and all this stuff.
Okay.
So he's kind of like really, really subjugating her
Gross.
really badly.
Okay,
yeah.
really nasty.
Like straight up hitting her in front of people.
Oh
like,
my god.
It's very, which part of me is like, it's interesting that is a thing. Part of me is like, I feel like you're showing an abusive relationship so that everything that happens between Mina and Leo is okay, because it's not that.
Oh, yeah.
Which it might not be that way. That's kind of the vibe I got. Again,
that's how you felt.
That's how I felt.
Okay.
But again, I didn't know. I haven't read the other books. I've only read this one, so I don't know.
Okay.
But still. Also, a trigger bit that I forgot in the beginning. There's a little bit of drug use in here too.
Oh, okay.
So Mina and the queen are very good friends.
Mm-hmm.
Mina is the only woman on this council.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Okay.
so she
wow,
is,
poor
like,
Mina.
breaking the glass ceiling, I'm telling you. So they're really good friends, and also the queen is addicted to laudanum to cope with her abusive husband.
Oh,
This shit is
so
real.
Sad.
Oh man, I'm sorry guys, I didn't realize I picked a real downer.
Does it improve?
Bummer. It does.
Okay.
It improves.
I mean, like, well, the thing about it is you said that this book, too, was the end of a series. And I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about this poor queen with this
I know.
prince asshole for this whole... How many books are in the series? Do we know?
5. So this is the 5th book in the series.
That makes me sad.
Yeah. It is something else, man. So I feel like this is maybe a good, like, antithesis to the last book.
Yeah.
Because it is very different, and it's actually pretty good.
It's, like,
It's
weirdly
still a little
more
weird.
realistic in a way.
Even though it's much more fantasy.
Yeah, even though... Well, no, I wouldn't say
steampunk.
that.
No,
I
it's
would
not
not
more
say that.
fantasy.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Toilet bowl
Right.
down to
It's-
Atlantis.
It's not quite as over-the-top ridiculous.
Okay, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
It's
they
still,
still ground you in a little bit of reality.
just enough.
Just enough to
I
make
would
you
say
feel
it's probably
safe.
a
Yes.
lot better written than the other one.
Yes. And you didn't even read it.
I didn't.
Ugh.
Ugh. Okay, so next scene. So I broke this down into kind of scenes. So the next scene, she wants revenge on him. She's really fed up that he's sort of like...
Who is she?
Mina. She's really fed up that he was like got an edge on her with the whole I want to see your boobs for 10 minutes thing.
Okay,
So she's
okay.
like, all right, I'm going to send my people and find some dirt on him.
Ooh.
And she finds dirt on him.
Ooh.
Specifically, pictures proving that he's a bastard.
Pictures proving that
He
he's
has
a bastard.
a brother
Yeah.
that is with his mom and another dude that doesn't look anything like his supposed father. Like, it's a whole subplot thing without going super deep into it. So she
Okay.
has, like, just suffice it to say, she has undeniable proof he's a bastard
Okay.
in her possession.
Okay.
Which could completely ruin him in the government. Right?
Okay. Okay.
So there's a ball that happens naturally.
Gotta love a ball.
Gotta love a ball. And she confronts him about it. She's like, look what I have.
Oh.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, all right, fine. Do whatever you want with it. That's fine. You could ruin me. You absolutely could. But I trust you to do whatever you want with it. Like, he's like,
Oh.
it's actually,
well.
his entire motivation throughout all this is he legitimately, like, loves her.
Aw.
And she has no idea. She doesn't really know how to
Aw.
cope with it.
So does she not know how to cope with it, or does she not, like...
She doesn't, she
She
has
just
a lot of
doesn't
trouble.
know.
She doesn't understand because she, like, has this deep, sort of ingrained, like, I can't like you, even though I kind of do, but I can't because, you know, family feuds and everything.
Okay,
Yada, yada.
okay.
So he's like, no, I don't care. I like you. So that's, like, really cute. And then you get to he seduces her.
Mm.
And by seduces her, I mean he finger fucks her in a library.
Whoa! 0 to 100 real fast. So this is at the ball?
At the ball.
Oh, wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
Someone has a little
Hey,
bit
baby,
of an
you do what you
exhibition
want. I know what I want you to
I
do.
know what I want. So, it was the smutty bits in this book. The best way I can explain it is it's like she had a box and is like, this
Check.
is a good pre-written scene. This is one, and this is one, and this is one. Let's write a story around it. Like, it's very almost jarring. In
Okay.
Like
Well,
I'm gonna destroy you. Oh, well, you can do what you want, but I'm trusting you to do the right thing. Bam, chicka, wah, wah, chicka, wah, wah. Like,
Just like very,
whoa.
very like I'm still in the past.
Right.
And you
Where
guys
the-
are fucking. When did this
Exactly.
happen? I'm so confused. I mean, I'm confused.
Yeah, right? And I'm doing my best to summarize this plot because it is so complicated. But yeah, so they have a moment together.
I should say so.
Right?
Sounds like, did they have 1 or 2 or 3?
They have a moment in the way that the French Revolution was just a little bit of a bar brawl. Like, it's a hell of a moment.
It's so really, yeah.
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 So they leave. She kind of gets this like, holy shit, what the hell just happened? Like, she's really being thrown off of her game and she doesn't like that.
Okay.
So next scene is in the government. So
Oh wow, I'll bet
move-
that doesn't have any effect on, any of the decisions that they make in
Right?
government.
Yeah. So it comes out, and this is like the next day, there's a sudden convening of this like council. out of nowhere. No one has any idea what's going on. They all show up, and the prince consort is there, and he's kind of like, bear in mind, this is the guy that killed the queen's lover.
Yeah.
Who, I don't think I mentioned, the queen's lover was part of the council.
Oh, wow. Okay, this guy's an asshole.
He is. He's starting to, like, pick off people in the council.
Okay.
So they're all sitting there like, what the hell's going on? And the prince consort comes up and like, he's like, all right, so he's a bastard. Let's kill him.
What? How did he find out?
Mina did not tell anyone.
Yeah.
But Leo thinks she did.
Oh, no.
I know. He is, like, devastated at this point.
Yeah, poor Leo.
Well, it kind of comes out that so the guy, the informant that she had that did all the digging was her father's.
Oh.
She had no idea he was probably working for the prince. So,
yeah, so double agent going on, and she didn't know that. Oh, God.
So Leo's like, oh, shit. Like, he's gonna die. So
like,
he escapes.
Yeah.
By taking her hostage.
Oh!
By holding a knife to her throat. And just basically, like, action movie jumping out of a window.
But wouldn't the prince consort kind of, like, he wants her dead? Cause
he does nothing to stop him.
Okay, she does, but all the rest of the council is like, no. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking to myself, I was like, he doesn't care.
No, he totally wants her dead.
Okay.
How
convenient for Leo, though. It's kind of like, I've still got remaining feelings for this bitch. I'll just take her.
Right. Well, she's the woman.
Yeah.
She is a very strong, like, she can hold her own pretty impressively so.
Right.
But
you can't hold your own against a knife to your throat, though. That's pretty difficult. Like, it's hard to get out of that situation.
Right. But so he escapes with her and escapes to the outskirts of town where his cousin lived.
Okay.
His cousin is sort of a bit of a, like, bandit king kind of dude is the best way I can describe it.
Like a Robin Hood kind of guy?
Yeah, with a lot of, like, the commoners who have been, like, this unrest has been stewing for a while, and so he's like, all right, great, this is a fantastic, powder keg, time to explode, and the revolution begins.
You were joking about that French Revolution
stuff.
No,
I was not.
Oops,
this is a full-on, like, down with the monarchy kind of deal.
Okay, and they just kind of,
yeah.
How convenient.
Right. So a whole kind of battle revolution thing starts, and Mina is being held hostage by them in their sort of main area.
Okay.
So she is held hostage, and she tries to escape. Props to her. She's not thinking, she's like, I can't go back. The king's gonna kill me probably.
Right, yeah.
But I have to help the queen because the prince is unhinged.
Yeah, she's gotta go back to her friend.
I've gotta help my friend.
Right.
And it starts to come out that her and the queen have been planning their own revolution on the side.
Oh, very cool.
Because she wants to depose the prince and make the queen as the rightful ruler. So that starts to come out.
That honestly makes more sense too, because like I don't want the people with the powers in power. I want commoners in power.
Exactly.
Looking
well,
out.
she's a human, so like she's gonna relate so much more. And there's like actually this really good like whole thing of like she's addicted to laudanum. Are you sure
true.
That's a good idea?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, she can do it. She's only using that to cope. So that's never really resolved. But that's like they really like discuss a lot of the possible
but they're going
plot
into
holes.
detail about like these issues. All right.
So she tries to escape, and is caught by Leo. Leo chases after her, gets her back, and dungeon sex ensues.
Wait, what? Hold on! 0 to 100 again. Like,
see, you see what I'm saying about like the box of sex scenes just plucked from?
Right.
It's very like. She's tied to a chair.
Do they talk at all?
Yeah, so the whole thing, and this is kind of where the blood-eating bits come into play, is like, she's injured, she needs to heal, she needs blood. He's like, all right, here, and gives her some of his blood. Well, apparently this is a very sexual act in this world. And it just
sets them off.
Sets them both off. So it's consensual.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
She's still resistant, though, which is a little bit kind of... She's still... So the library finger fucking thing was very much a, like, I shouldn't enjoy this. No, I don't want this. Maybe I kind of do, but I don't. Very much that. This is a little bit more, both of them are like, all right, let's get it on.
Okay,
like, they're a little more... She's a little more on board with it. Still kind of like, but better.
So
there's improvement.
Okay, I'm just thinking about this like recapturing thing. I don't know.
Yeah, so he gets her again. There is she tries to escape again, and I'm skipping over a little bit of plotty bits that happen in between then, but she tries to escape again. But she comes back because partly morals. Also, so this is a steampunk universe.
Right.
Where would we be without automatons? So the prince and the blue bloods and the aristocracy and everything, they have a lot of access to what would be sort of turn of the century technology, like, but in steampunk world. So they have like radio frequencies, like the very basics of it that they're just starting to learn how to use to control these automatons as their army, essentially.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
So they're like going to just crush the humans,
right,
and the entirety of the commoners.
Right.
So she sees them starting to march, and she's like, "Oh shit, this isn't good." So she
goes back to warn them,
to warn and to help.
Okay.
Guys, I couldn't even.
Oh no! Oh boy!
Man.
Oh gosh!
So,
what?
Okay, so I have in my notes here in all caps, fucking werewolves are also a thing.
Wait,
because
what?
I don't know, but knowing that this is the last in a series now, I understand it.
Right.
So there is another group of werewolves that are there to help too, and the chick in this, like, who's married to like the head werewolf guy, is like a scientist, which is super cool. She is like...
I'll bet she's another novel.
Probably.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
But so she's a scientist. So she comes over and she's going to help them, and they were able to get a controller for these automatons. Okay. And they're going to kind of quote unquote hack into it and try to turn them...
hack.
Yeah, and try to turn them against, you know, the prince's army. Makes sense, right?
Very cool, very cool.
So Leo gets a hold of this and talks to this, like, girl. And the way he does this, and I fucking lost it. Because, okay, I'm an engineer. Specifically, I'm an electrical engineer. This is my background.
Okay.
And he looks at her, and in this, what I can only assume is meant to be really, like, cool and edgy. What do you know about frequencies?
She's just like... maybe a fucking thing or two.
I can tell you right now, there are several frequencies that exist. That's like going up to your pharmacist and saying, "Excuse me, what do you know about chemicals?" That's what it is! I get it. Not everyone has this background.
Oh my god.
But, guys, I lost it. I was sitting here reading, my husband was like, on the other couch, and I just died, and he was looking at me like I had 3 heads. Oh man.
Did you tell him about it?
I did.
What did he say?
He just sighed. This just deep, soul-defeating sigh of just,
Thank God he didn't read The Nymph King.
What are you reading? that kind of deal. Okay. Yeah, so I loved it so much. It was awful. I loved it. Okay, so this is where we fall into what I call the rom-com trope.
Oh, no.
No one fucking talks to each other.
No one, yeah.
So many problems could be resolved if we communicated. Effective communication is the cornerstone of every relationship. Leo's been working on a revolution for a while. Mina's been working on a revolution for a while. Neither of them knew, even though it's come up multiple times. Oh no, we can work together? What? Holy shit! Okay, great!
We could be a power couple?
Whoa!
Holy shit!
Yeah, so it comes out because holy exposition Batman. They're both working on this thing. They both have different... He has an army. She has automatons for said army. So, like, they both have both sides to a thing. Like, it's good. It's
like
great.
how our government is supposed to work.
Pew pew! Shots fired! Yeah.
Not to get political. Anyway, go on.
No. But so they end up just working together, and they decide to essentially storm the castle.
Bye-bye, boys. Have fun storming the castle.
Exactly. So they mount a full-scale attack on this castle. And they sort of have to fight their way up the tower and all this stuff, and they're going together, and they have to split up. Because the prince...
No, never split the party.
They have to
never split the party.
So,
I don't even play D&D and I know that.
I know, right? Still need to fix that. So the prince is going to... basically has this mentality, and it sort of leads into the whole... everyone's pretty sure he's unhinged with craving virus.
Oh, that would explain
everyone's
so much.
Everyone's pretty sure he's starting to go.
Okay.
So he's like, alright, well, if I can't have it, nobody can.
Ooh,
so he set bombs, essentially,
Oh, good.
In this main citadel. So he is in the top with all of his aristocracy, thralls, and queen. And he's
just gonna Cersei it. He's gonna blow it all up.
It's actually this really kind of interesting and creepy scene because he's this, like, Mina walks in, and she's, like, surrounded by what looks like a ball kind of deal, but it's very obviously the prince, like, forcing everyone to be, like, drinking champagne and having a good time and all this. It's so, but it's obviously him being like, let's all die together.
Like when the Titanic went down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so creepy.
So it's really actually like this interesting and really creepy scene.
And that's really weird because, like, Mina's, like, panting and
just
running
she's, like,
and just, like, trying to keep things together.
Yeah, and she wants to save the queen because the queen's there too. And she's like, he can literally kill her at any moment because she's a human. Yeah. And he's not. So she's, like, gets in there and they start fighting to try to stop all this. Well, he doesn't even have the detonator for this bomb on him. It's in a totally separate tower. So someone with
that
some
makes
of his
sense.
Well, so that if someone stops him, doesn't matter, they're gonna die too.
Oh, okay.
So he left it with his guards in another tower. So Leo went to fight the guards and stop that from happening. He got intelligence, like, after they split up, and so that's where he went. So there's, like, both of them are, like, fighting to the death and all this stuff. It's really intense. It's, like, this is, like, very high octane. There's really no down. Yeah, there hasn't been a whole
I feel like we started, like, at the tits part, and we really haven't come back down. Like, there is constantly no relaxed moment. Even, like,
honestly, the sex scenes are the rest period.
Like the dungeon scene, you must have been like, "Ooh, at least there's no plot happening right now.
At least nobody's actively dying. God, yeah. So rolling back to that, because that was the first, like, whiplash moment.
Yes.
She's like,
I've never recovered. I still haven't recovered.
Right. Well, she's like, okay, you can look at him for 10 minutes. He's like, no. What's the fun in that? I get some touching.
Oh my god.
She's like,
fine.
Still hasn't taken her up on that, I gotta say.
Well, yeah. Well, he was like, all right, I guess I'll, you're
like,
suffering. I guess if you're suffering, I won't touch your tits.
Yeah. Touch the boobies.
But I'm gonna get some massive blue balls, bitch.
Oh, God. Fine. We can postpone the motorboating until after we overthrow the bourgeoisie. Oh, God.
That needs to be on a t-shirt.
Remember, guys, save the motorboating for peacetime, not war.
They haven't saved it for peacetime. I'll give them that, though.
No,
they did it in a library. It's kind of like Clue.
So far.
In the library, in the dungeon, in the library with the finger, in the dungeon with the blood.
Oh, God. There's more. I've skipped over, like, a couple. So, if we want a full recap, there was the library, a dirigible.
What is a dirigible?
Like a
right.
They call them pleasure dirigibles.
Pleasure dirigibles. I thought a dirigible was like a carriage.
No, it's like a big Zeppelin kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were touring the facility that builds them at one point, and they both escape, and so that happens.
Okay.
Again, finger fucking on a dirigible.
Lisa's very private. No one's gonna disturb you up there.
No, they were in front of windows. There was very much a exhibitionist overtone going on here.
Okay. Dungeon.
Was there second dungeon? Second dungeon. But that one was 100% consensual.
Okay.
And nobody was tied to a chair.
That's good.
Yeah. Nobody was incapacitated in any way, which up until now, every single one has been that way.
I'll say this about them. They need to find, like, a bed or, like, somewhere normal.
Second dungeon was a bed.
Yeah, but still, like, in a dungeon. They need to not do it in a dungeon.
But what about second dungeon? Awesome.
Oh, God.
Okay. So, Leo is able to stop the bomb, and Mina is able to save the queen. So, yes, the prince consort is killed.
Yes!
And...
Goodbye, bitch.
They've overthrown it. The queen agrees to become the figurehead. So, even though she's addicted to drugs...
All right, well...
Which, I mean, to be fair, like, coping, man. I get it. Like, she was very heavily abused.
Coping, yeah, and she's not the only ruler who has done that in history, so...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they set up a new council. They're all, like, really, like, big into
Are any of them
reforming
human?
this government. I don't actually know. I didn't really pay attention to that much. I don't think it goes into super big detail.
Okay.
Like, super detailed.
But they've got new ideas, new power.
New ideas, actually, like, a little bit of equality. Gasp. Oh my god, right?
What's equality?
Rolling back a little bit before all that happens. So, in the aftermath of the battle, there's that really stereotypical romance scene where, like, she's running through the crowd trying to find him because she doesn't know if she's okay. She thinks he's dead. And then they, like, see each other and run to each other and, like,
Aww.
kiss. And then guardhouse sex.
Is he like, I need you now?
Yeah, because those CV values, man, they were real high. And apparently that translates to lust. So
did the prince consort just need to get laid?
I don't actually know.
Like did he just...
They say
I mean, I wouldn't at all blame the queen if she decided she didn't want to do it with him, obviously, but, like...
As sad as it is, I don't think she had a choice in that matter.
Well, yeah, okay, that's true. But, like...
But...
Alright, well, then if that's the case, then, like, he probably didn't need to get laid. He probably was just losing his effing mind.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that's kind of, like, they talk about the craving virus thing a lot, and they use that as a...
motivator? Sort
of motivator for, like, why sometimes they lose control of their emotions a little bit, and why that kind of stuff happens.
It's kind of like back then, like, hysteria or something.
Yeah,
though, you know, like female hysteria,
and
it's an excuse.
Right. Well, but it doesn't make much sense because, like, so there's, like, a major subplot that, you know, I skipped over kind of a little bit where Leo's dad is, like, really getting close to that, and then they end up seeing him, and he's actually the one that kills the prince consort. Because he is completely a vampire.
Aww.
White hair, everything.
Okay.
But he's totally normal. Like, he has full control of his mind and everything. And it's, like, this whole thing with, like, essentially a vaccine or an antidote or something that has been created.
Very cool.
Yeah, so he's, like, fully in control of his...
So he's kind of like Remus Lupin on Nights of the Full Moon when he takes that potion.
Kinda, yeah. Where he's totally in control, but it has, like, all the
symptoms.
Well, he has, all of the, like, hyper... So, like, if blue bloods are, like, superhuman, when you go full vampire, you are, like, a god. Like, you are super fast, super, like, yeah.
So he kept his mind, but he got all the powers.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that was, like, kind of a thing. So they use that a lot, and, like, part of it is, like, this vaccine that isn't really a vaccine. It's more of just, like, it lowers those values in your blood or whatever.
Okay, it's like a treatment or something.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
But there's a lot that they don't really, like, describe that fully.
It sounds like what the author was trying to do was, like, she knew that when people finished the book, they were still going to be worried about this, like, the levels and everything. And so she wanted, like, to leave them with a little bit of hope that these two there wasn't an end for these two characters, that they could figure it out.
Yeah, and that's kind of
I mean, it's a romance novel, so, like, that's kind of what you're going in for. You're going in for a happy ending. So I get that. And in a way, it's an interesting way of doing it. You know, it's not a complete cop-out of, like, yay, this is suddenly fixed. But this might be fixed. This might be fixed. There's hope in the future.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and within all that, you find out that, no, his dad didn't kill her dad, and, like, all this stuff. There's a lot of plot in this book. Like,
that's
a very
good.
heavy plot.
Okay.
But after they have sex in a guardhouse, they're still in the dark guardhouse, and she finally says...
trying everywhere.
I know. Well, she finally says, I love you.
Aww. Does she say, oh, no?
No, she doesn't get a response, and she can't see anything, so she can't see his face, so she's like, what did I do? And, like, goes to leave, and he's like, no. Sorry, I was not expecting that. Like, it's really cute, actually. Yeah.
Leo kind of sounds like a sweetheart. I wish that they kind of gotten that better across the cover.
Right, well, he's kind of a sweetheart, except when they're having sex. And then it's like, okay, man, slow your roll a little bit. And
aggressive?
It's a little aggressive.
Okay.
Little forward. Little problematic.
Just
a smattering of problematic.
Okay.
Yeah. So they finally say, I love you, and they're like, they end up getting married.
Okay.
Which is cute. And there's, like, this whole little, like, end scene, because there's this whole thing where, like, the blue bloods and the humans, like, blue bloods don't celebrate Christmas because they just don't have, like, there's this weird, like, thing where it's like, oh, that's a commoner thing to do.
Oh, well, I mean, kind of an interesting cultural thing. I guess if you're immortal, you don't really worry that much about the afterlife, or, like, more immortal.
Right. So, which I thought was kind of interesting. So there's this little, like, cute ending scene where they're already married, and they are having Christmas with his cousin and everyone out in Whitechapel, is where, his cousin, like, who led the bandits and everything, it's in Whitechapel.
So, like, you know who else was in Whitechapel? Jack the Ripper.
Yay, that makes a lot of sense, actually. That makes a lot of sense, actually. But they're like having Christmas with them, and like his wife just had a kid, like Leah's cousin's wife just had a kid, like during all of this and everything. And I actually have thank you, Beck. Thank you, Beck. You put this in there. They're like, Mina's like holding the kid and everything, and like looking at Leo, and they're like, she hands him back, she's like, great. Never. No.
Well, could they have a kid?
They don't.
Could they, though?
They could, yeah.
Okay, they could. Oh,
but
okay.
they're like, she's like, no thank you, not for a while. Like, she is not down with the kids, which is such a huge thing in romance novels, where usually the women are like, yes, but I want to bury your children and all this stuff, and I'm like, personally, I don't want kids. So the fact that she doesn't want kids, I really appreciate that.
I did find a romance novel once, I should recommend it to you, or maybe I'll read it, where at the end of the book, the girl thinks that she's barren the entire book, and the author says, and she's like, he's upset about that, but he's like, he says something along the lines of, I'm sad that we won't be able to have children, but I'll be devastated if I don't have you.
Yeah.
And it's
that's cute. Well, and like, that's something that, so I've noticed in romance novels, it almost always ends in either marriage or a kid, or both. And there's nothing wrong with, like, if you really want to have kids and you're, like, super into that, that's totally fine. It's just, it's kind of nice to see someone that's not. Because, like, I'm not. I have my cats. I'm happy with that.
And your husband.
And my husband. I'm happy with that, too. So, it's really nice that she's like, no. Maybe later, not now. So
she has, like, hundreds of years.
Right, and
literally.
I really appreciate that. So, and then, like, it ends with them carriage sex. Yay! So, recap. Library. Sorry. Kiss in a bathtub. Because that did happen
Kiss in a bathtub?
When they were in that first, where she was in the bathtub, that whole thing. Kiss in a bathtub. Finger fucking in the library. This is seriously a game of Clue.
It's also like green eggs and ham. Like, I will do it in the
Thank you, Dr. Seuss.
You're up.
Oh, God. So library. Pleasure dirigible. I have to use that word. It's what was used in the book, and I love it so much in a horrible way.
It reminds me of Thor Ragnarok. Because in that movie, the Grandmaster, he's a pleasure
yes,
barge.
The pleasure ship or
and
whatever.
And there's, like, the tentacles that are, like...
Oh, God. Oh,
God. What's that actor's name who plays the Grandmaster? He's Jurassic Park. Yeah. He's so famous right now, too. Why do I not... Because I love him.
Jeff Goldblum.
I love you.
Oh, Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, Jeff, I love you so much. And you wear such nice suits, anyway.
It's true.
He really does.
Okay, so bathtub, library, pleasure dirigible, dungeon, second dungeon.
It's okay in the second dungeon.
Guardhouse, carriage.
Can they do it somewhere normal?
I mean, there was a bed in the second dungeon.
In the second dungeon! You're taking away from the bed with the fact that it's in a dungeon!
It's okay. It's not technically a dungeon. It just happens to be the same room she was held captive in the first time.
So it's a dungeon.
Kinda, yeah. It's really just a room, but it's kind of a dungeon.
Okay, you know what? Every dungeon is a room.
Okay, sure, you want to be pedantic about it. Fine.
Okay, so, overall, it sounds like you liked it, though.
It wasn't my favorite. Mm-hmm. So, peeking behind the kimono a little bit, that's why I said it that way. We've sort of read ahead a couple books,
right,
to have some, like, material to kind of see what we want to do with this. And I've read a couple, like, romance novels so far that I legitimately loved. Like, that I went on and bought the rest of the series and read the entire rest of the series, and we'll get to those later.
Yeah.
This one was sort of an in-between, one that I thought was ridiculous and one that I loved. So it was like, I really liked the plot, because I like plot
Mm-hmm.
in a book. Like, I don't want a book that's just...
Smut,
then she went after him, and then he went after her.
Yeah,
and then she
well,
went
we
after him.
had that. We
We've
experienced
had
that. Yeah.
So, it's one of those things where it's like, I really appreciate that, and the plot is interesting. Like, I would be curious to see what the rest of the books, like, what other, like, things are going on in this world.
Yeah.
But there's just that little bit of ridiculous that I can't get fully on board with it.
It sounds like a little bit like the romance kind of takes away
Yeah.
from what's going on in the
Like,
story.
if there were significantly less smut, I would be it would be a very, very good novel. And it's not that the smut is bad. Like, the bits that are there are not bad. It's just they're very out of place.
Yeah,
Very
well,
much-
it's like you said, they were kind of like copy-paste.
Literary
Copy
whiplash.
paste. Yeah, copy paste.
Very much, well, not even copy paste, just like...
Well, filling in the blanks.
yeah.
Filling in, like...
Like, it didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah, I mean,
didn't.
but I think that's the thing about a romance novel, though. Like, the smut doesn't need to... Well,
But it needs to be
does
there.
need to be there. Okay. Fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like...
But
yeah,
it was just very jarring. Jarring is the word I would use. Like, if it were... Even if it was maybe a little more organic, I would have been a lot more on board with it, and it could have still been there. It just was very... I don't know, jarring.
Did you like
jarring.
them?
They were a cute couple.
Okay.
Because
okay.
she
that
was
that
like...
helps.
I did take a little bit of umbrage with the whole heart of ice that can only be melted by my love, because that, God. I also took a little bit of umbrage,
It sounds like he likes her, though, because she can take care of herself.
He does.
Yeah,
No,
because
that's
at the
his
beginning
thing.
of the book, she murders someone. He's
So-
like, that's for me!
It's actually kind of like, I'll read a little bit of a blurb here. So when he sees her, he, like, goes over to talk to her after she kills the dude, like, for the first time. And he walks up to her and he's like, all right, she's really pretty. I bet she gets this all the time. I'm gonna make myself different.
Oh, no!
So when he walks up to her, the first...
Just be honest, guys. Even if we've heard it before, if you say it with your heart, we love it.
Oh, no, it's actually kind of funny.
Oh,
like, the way he
okay,
does it,
okay.
because he walks up to her and says, she's like, oh, so you've come to congratulate me. Because everyone's, like, watching and clapping
Yeah.
and whatever. And he looks at her and goes, congratulate you, he asked. Perhaps you were lucky to win with that form. And she's like, what?
Roasted! Roasted!
She's like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell? And he's like, oh yeah, you drop your elbow. Like, someone's gonna be able to get in your
Yeah,
yard
that's
with that.
what a woman loves.
Right?
We love to be told how we're doing everything wrong.
I know, but it's kind of and they very much have that vibe throughout the entire book of like kind of playfully giving each other shit and like going back and forth a lot, which I do appreciate.
I think it's kind of like a thing. It's a power move there, but it's also like I'm not intimidated by you.
Right. Well, and she's not fawning over him. Like during
Yeah.
the sexy bits, yeah, she is. Because again, jarring. But like in the actual novel, she's like, no, I'm not with a dude because I'm not gonna give someone that much power over me to, like, diminish my abilities. Like,
Right.
I want to be capable and strong and do my own thing, and I'm not gonna let someone come in and try to be the white knight and take care of me when I don't need it.
Right, and outshine me.
Exactly.
Right.
And he, like, he's like, no, that's fine. You go kill the prince consort and take care of the queen. I'm gonna go do something else. Go for it. You're fine. I know you'll be fine. Like, he's very much more of a, yeah, you're, like, a strong woman.
But at
Go
the end of
for
the
it.
day, they're still kind of looking after each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, all in all, I think if the smutty bits were done a little bit differently, I
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
probably
Integrated.
100.
It sounds like they need to be integrated into the story better.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I would probably be 100% on board with it then. But
Even the second dungeon.
even the second dungeon, maybe even 11sies after that. I don't know.
First dungeon, yes. What about second
What
dungeon?
about second dungeon? I don't think he's heard of second dungeon. Yeah, so, we sort of got into rating and everything before we were even officially
needed to-
rated it.
Yeah, even.
So, let's go into rating. So we
Yes.
have the lady, the gentleman, and the plot.
Mhm.
So...
Aramina, Leo, and the plot.
Yes, and the plot.
The plot sounds really fun.
Yeah,
Like, even though it's kind of like
it's
high
very...
note the whole time, it
Yeah.
sounds very
It's
fun.
very much like political intrigue, which I was actually surprised. I'm not usually super into political intrigue.
Oh, I love it.
But I will say, after this book, I'm a lot more down with it. Like,
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I would read more books that, if they're like that, then yeah.
Yeah.
Because the political intrigue is interesting, and it's
Yeah.
like a really well fleshed out world that makes you care about it.
Okay.
If it's just political intrigue for the sake of political intrigue, that's boring to me.
AKA Cersei Lannister.
Hey, I could not get 12 chapters into that book.
Oh, I love them. Don't get me wrong, but man, what?
No, don't get me wrong. I'm the biggest Tolkien nerd.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I am no stranger to epic fantasy novels. I just could not do Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we can go into that later.
Yeah.
If you guys want to hear us banter back and forth about books, let us know.
Yeah, we will gladly
do
talk
that
about books.
forever.
But guess what we're doing now?
Yeah.
So I think that, like, plot itself is very interesting, and the world building behind the political intrigue makes me like the political intrigue.
Okay.
That, I think, matters to me. And I didn't know that mattered to me until I read this book. So I was
Okay.
like, surprisingly, yeah, I'm super on board with it. So plot, I would say, like, there's some plot holes, but I'd say like a solid 4.5, honestly.
All right.
Out of 5.
That's good. That's really good.
It was pretty good, like 4.5.
Okay.
Well, okay, if we're taking the smut into consideration, 4.
Okay, fair.
Yeah,
fair. I'm
solid
more
4.
just because of how you've described that smut, and I'm harsher. I'm giving it 3.5.
Okay, that's fine.
Just because,
That's fair.
like, it's not like it's Harry Potter.
That's true.
Yeah,
Well,
because I'm comparing it to, like, this is amazing.
Okay,
Everybody
okay.
should read it.
okay.
You know, down to the bottom of nobody read this. This is garbage.
So I'm comparing it mostly with just in the romance novel genre.
Okay,
Not
fair,
necessarily. So
fair.
if we're talking holding up to other books, I would say a solid 3.5.
Okay,
If we're saying,
that's still really good though.
yeah. If we're saying just in the romance like genre, then I'd
4.
bump it up to 4.
Yeah. Okay.
As far as characters go, I really liked Mina in that we've talked about some books that are very much spaghetti against a brick wall as far as personality goes. Like the woman's only motivation is men.
And it's also like books where the only reason her backstory is all about men.
Right.
You know, it's not about things that she's done in her own life.
Yeah, that could be a good. So, okay, we haven't talked about this quite yet, guys, but we want to put together what I'm terming the book Dell test. Which is
yes, that's a good idea.
Which is basically a rating system for this kind of thing to like see if the woman character is represented.
She can carry herself. Yeah.
And I would say in this case, having not clearly defined what those parameters are, I would say Mina absolutely does that. She can take care of herself. She has really good and intricate motivations that aren't related to men. Like, she wants to help the queen because the queen's her friend.
Yeah, that's true. But she does have that backstory of his dad killed my dad.
Yeah, but that's kind of like a family feud kind of thing.
Oh, that's true. I mean,
that's more of like political.
So it's
drama.
not. It has to be like a backstory that's not romantic,
right? And
or
she
sexual.
Pretty much has no romantic backstory.
Okay,
which
romantic,
is kind of nice.
So romantic or sexual backstory that's like pulling her back.
Right.
Yeah.
She's not caught up in that. No, she has like no romantic backstory.
Okay.
Which is kind of neat. Like she's, you know, they mentioned specifically like I've had partners before, but nothing romantic.
Okay.
Which is kind of nice. And I didn't quite mention, but like the reason they're friends is because she was walking through the garden when she was younger, and she found this woman crying on her wedding day. And it's the queen, and the queen's like, I can't go through with this, I don't want to go through with this, and she's like, no, we'll get through it together. And it's like, that's why they're such good friends, is like, she was there to help her, because she's like, we can overthrow him, we'll get rid of it, like, it's good,
Rachel,
man, heartfelt feels.
I want you to know, I would murder the prince consort for you. I would straight up murder him.
Wow.
It would be savage.
Guys, I got the warm fuzzies.
You better watch out, Zach. You better not mess around.
Zach's my husband. So all in all, I think like, I don't know, like up there. Maybe a 4?
Yeah, I mean I would give her a 4. I don't know how I feel about Leo.
Leo is very heavily motivated by her.
Mina.
Which I always find a little bit problematic, but he does have some other motivations as far as, like, he knows he's a bastard, and he does want to, like, he has some daddy issues. He has some pretty solid daddy issues.
Well, and I like the thing that, like, the thing that sets him back the most, the fact that he's a bastard. The moment she threatens him with that, he's like, he he's more afraid of, like, losing her.
Right, and that's kind of a level of trust that you don't usually
it's also
see.
self-confidence, because he's like, he knows that he'll survive, getting out of the council, and like...
Right, well, and he's kind of taking a bet on her. Like, his bet is, not gonna
He's gonna call her bluff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I did appreciate that. I give him, like, a 3.
Yeah.
I think. Because he has motivations that are not her, but most of them are her.
Yeah. And it's just kind of, he's kind of like a floating character. You could stick him into any other romance novel and he would pretty much kind of float around and do the same thing.
He would provide the role of the penis in pretty much any romance novel.
I mean, it's still an important role. It is an important role.
In
a romance novel.
Romance novels.
Yes, in hetero romance novels, it's an important role.
Yeah. I'd say like a solid 3. Like, he's very middle of the road for me.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
But he's good, and he's cute.
He does sound very cute.
He
does sound very
cute.
I love that. I love that part of, like, I think the part of the tits is really funny.
It was really funny.
I think it's really funny.
At first I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
this is gonna be stupid. And then it was like, okay, that's
again,
really
0 to 100 for this
Very
guy.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Oh, there was something I totally forgot to mention. So I like to keep my eye out for, like, again, suspension of disbelief. They're vampires, sure, whatever. At one point, they were awake for 5 days straight.
Okay!
They still have to sleep.
Oh!
Right?
That sounds so unpleasant.
I know.
Ugh.
It just sounds really uncomfortable.
How long can you stay awake before you die?
A week.
A week?
I think. Hold on.
Oh, that sounds
Let's
horrible.
go back to the segment. Rachel Googles things.
This sounds so
top Google search. How long can you stay awake before you die? The easy experimental answer to this question is 264 hours, about 11 days.
Ugh.
1965, Randy Gardner, a 17-year-old high school student, set this apparent world record for a science fair. Jesus!
Did he die?
I don't know, but he better have won. Good lord.
That sounds so unpleasant.
I want to know.
It's like Halloween.
No, I'm going to read this article to see if he died. Like, I don't want him to die, but part of me hopes he did for a science fair.
No, he was 17. What an idiot.
But that's like, hang on. Oh, he's still alive.
Good, thank God.
He's 70 years old. Wikipedia. Dude has a Wikipedia page. He stayed awake for 264.4 hours, which is 11 days and 25 minutes.
The human body is amazing.
That's incredible. 11 days and 30 minutes.
The vampires couldn't even be.
I know. Wow.
All right.
And no long-term psychological or physical effects.
Good
the
for him.
more you know.
No. Maybe he's a vampire.
There it is.
There
you
it
cracked
is.
All right.
Do we have any announcements or anything? I don't know.
What I'm reading.
Oh, yeah. What are you reading?
So Christopher Tolkien's son, just recently compiled another set of stories from J.R.R. Tolkien that I am, again, huge Tolkien nerd.
No, I never would have guessed. Hey, check out our Instagram, guys. We've got a picture of her table up on there.
Yeah, the table we're recording on. It's a map of the Hobbit, from the Hobbit. But, so he just came out with one, and it's called The Fall of Gondolin, and it's a story from the Silmarillion, which I realize is a really difficult read, but I love it.
I can't even get through Lord of the Rings yet, so give me patience, give me time.
It is hard. I am fully owning up to that. It is
I got through, like,
read.
Following a Leaf in the Two Towers, and I was like, I don't know how much longer I can do this.
It is,
and then Tom Bombadil, I'm like, how long?
He's so great.
He's so cute, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. It's difficult. It took me a while to be able to get through it. But I've been reading that, but it is a very dense read. It requires a lot of brain power, because it's basically an analysis of the evolution of the story. So it's more nonfiction than, like, an actual book, like, just story from Tolkien. But it is very good. So I've been reading that. So honestly, if anything, this book kind of helped me get a little bit of a break from that book.
Yeah.
Whenever my brain starts to turn into mush.
You and Steve Colbert need to, like, hang out.
My goal in life is to be able to hold my own in a Tolkien off with Stephen Colbert. That is just my goal.
Honey.
I'll never be able to, but I'm gonna try.
Okay, you can always try.
Life goals. Aim big, okay?
My uncles used to write in Elvish underneath the dining room table. they would pass notes to one another.
I've been working on my Elvish.
Good girl.
It's not great, but it's getting there. Oh, man. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you want to check us out on Twitter at Textual Tension Pod, really Textual Tension Pod across the board.
Across the board.
Twitter,
Instagram. Our website at textualtensionpod.com. I'm gonna set up a Goodreads page, and I think we're gonna put up the books on there, links to the books or whatever. I don't know 100% how Goodreads work yet.
Right.
What books we've read, even the ones that are bad.
Yes.
We're also gonna have a recommended reading list of books that we're actually reading.
Yeah, if you guys want to toss us any recommendations for good or bad or beautifully terrible,
or if you have comments,
comments. Yeah, we want to hear from you guys. If it wasn't made abundantly clear, this is our first podcast. Yeah. And we're kind of, jumping into the fray. And we just love talking about this, so we're just having a blast. But if you guys want to give us any feedback or anything like that, recommendations, we would love to hear it.
We do, and we want to hear your thoughts on these books, too. If you happen to have read them and you have... just tell us anything. We're interested. We're intrigued, obviously, because we're doing this.
Right, exactly, yeah. So drop us a line. Our email is at textualtensionpod@gmail.com. Hey guys, Future Rachel jumping in here to just give a quick shout out to the artist Ayla Neryu for the use of her song Oh Love off the album Beheld. It's a really great tune and we're really thankful to be able to use it, so we just want to kind of give credit where credit is due. Yeah, hit us up. We'd love to hear it.
Yes. So we'll see you in a couple weeks, guys. Yeah, you'll hear us.
Hear us that way.
You'll hear our voices through the void.
The aether. Through the frequencies.
Which one?
Oh, no. Oh, God. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you next 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.